Oh yes, we're doing that podcast thingy. Okay, right, I'm Jan.
I'm Sharon.
And we're menopausal friends living here in France, and we plan to share with you our lives,
Loves.
and laughter, as the saying goes.
There's always lots of that.
We'll be discussing many subjects and also just being us. Enjoy!
Woohoo!
Hello, welcome back to our podcast. I'm Jan.
I'm Sharon,
You
apparently.
remembered to speak now. We're on part 2 of talking about our childhood memories of TV. Not necessarily childhood programmes, just any programmes you remember when we were young or that we've been prompted to remember. And it's been quite a revelation, hasn't it?
There's been some YouTubing, there's been some singing.
We've got our own list here, but we still keep, as we're remembering them, another one comes to mind. It's incredible.
Yes.
It does make you feel like you're not going quite as mad as you think.
Well,
But,
apparently we can only remember things that happened 50 years ago.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, what did we do an hour ago? I don't
No
know.
idea.
Probably this podcast. Anyway, so I've said in the last one that my list is a little bit mixed up. There's no particular order, and I'm just not very good at that. But because we go off on a tangent, it doesn't really matter. So I've got on my list next is a comedy show, and I know this went to America, and that was Benny Hill.
Oh, I hate Benny Hill.
Yeah, I remember it, but my memories of it aren't fond.
No.
Some people used to find him absolutely hilarious, and I think for some reason he really went down well in America. I don't know if in Australia and that.
And I think here in France as well.
Yes, I think because they like more of a slapstick and that sort of humour here in France, don't they?
It's not the slapstick. Even then I found it, the sexual stuff, cringe-worthy.
Yeah, well, I can't remember the word. What am I thinking of? The word? Chauvinistic.
Very chauvinistic.
Yeah.
With these two, one chubby old man and one bald old man.
Very creepy.
Oh, exactly. That these young busty women were somehow attracted to. Or they used to chase them like some kind of
running
rape
around
scene.
in underwear.
Yes.
With suspenders and stockings.
I hated it. Even then, I
probably
didn't know why I hated it then.
No, I don't think I knew. I was uncomfortable, but I think my hate was encouraged by my dad, because my dad hated him as well.
Good for your dad.
Yeah, so
gives me the creeps even now.
Yeah, we never kept it on the TV because it was just
hated it.
But I can remember talking. Funny enough, you saying about the French, because I remember talking to Leon and how they'd say his name and really laugh because there's just the humour here sometimes. Because they can still have humour like that here, can't they? They're definitely not as PC as we are.
No, there is definitely that kind of slapstick humour around, isn't there?
Yeah, and some of it can be quite
sexual,
and they do. But the women laugh at it as well. They're still, they do laugh at it. So, but they feel they have to because the men are. I don't know. So yeah, that was. I've got next to it, hated as a child, and not that keen on it now either.
As we're on sexy.
Okay.
On the buses.
Oh yes.
Which again.
That could be chauvinistic as well. It was just the era, wasn't it?
It was the era, and there were worse, I know, but yeah, on the buses, which was very much London-based. They were London bus drivers.
Definitely East End type people, weren't they?
Bus driver.
Old Blakey. Blakey,
was the inspector.
That's right.
The other guy was a bus conductor.
Who was that then? Wasn't what you're on about?
Reg Varney.
Reg Varney. Of course he was. Reg Varney was.
Yeah.
I've got another programme in mind. I'm merging the two.
But again, two fairly ugly blokes who were always.
But they thought they were the gods.
Well, the conductor was a horrible-looking bloke.
Well, Reg Varney used to supposedly have these women falling all over him, didn't he? He thought he was the dog's biscuit. And I remember, what's the woman? Olive. I always remember her. She sticks in my mind because I always remember my dad saying, "She's a cracker in real life. She's made to look like that."
Exactly. Yes, definitely.
He said she's beautiful in real life. I wouldn't say she was beautiful, but she's definitely more attractive than the character Olive. So yeah, because he always used to say, "Yeah, she's a cracker."
The thing that sticks in my mind was she used to wear negligees all the time.
Yes.
Nylon negligees.
With her rollers in.
And that was my Auntie Sue. That was
Yeah.
my Auntie Sue in that area. Not
Era.
area. Era.
In that area.
Yes. Rollers in to do her beehive and a nylon negligee. And my uncle, who I spoke about earlier, worked for Radio Rentals, later went on to be a bus driver.
Oh, right.
So they really were like
Yeah.
on the buses.
Yeah.
Oh, bless them.
And the other one was Till Death Us Do Part. So that's the other one I was
Oh
merging
my
with.
God, yes.
He was,
which was
very
racist.
chauvinistic and racist and
Yes.
everything. But at that time, we weren't very PC anyway, and we just used to find him hilarious. So, and he used to sit there in his vest, and that part of it always reminded me of my dad. He always used to sit around in his vest.
Yeah, again, didn't like that.
And
I have got one that's very similar to that, which I did like, which was Steptoe and Son.
yes, I got that as well. That was again not very PC, because the 70s just weren't, were
No,
they really?
They were rag and bone men.
Rag
weren't
and
they?
bone men, but absolutely hilarious. It was the old boy, usually got no teeth in, who was he's the father and the owner of the rag and bone yard, wasn't it?
It was a scrap
yard.
Yes.
And the son just used to really have a go at him, but it's just funny. And he's another one who used to have all these dolly birds turning up, didn't he?
He thought he was an international man of mystery, didn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah.
Probably wore a cravat
Yeah.
on a Saturday night.
But the old man who used to wear this tatty old suit, but used to think he was dressed to the nines, and
Yes.
that was funny. That was a funny one.
I
Yeah.
much preferred that to some of the others, I must admit.
Yeah. I don't think I've got any more, but if I find it, we'll come back to it anyway. And then if you think about comedies, on my list, I've got Morecambe and Wise now.
Yes.
Absolutely hilarious, such fond memories. Because I think because my dad was actually Morecambe and Wise and Tommy Cooper were the two that my dad would cry laughing at, and so I've got fond memories of watching my dad.
Yes.
Because he was a smoker as well, and he'd nearly kill himself laughing at them because it was just so funny. But Tommy Cooper, well, they're both, even now, if I see a Morecambe and Wise sketch, I just think they're hilarious. And Tommy Cooper, every time I watch him, he makes me cry laughing.
See, I don't like Tommy Cooper.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
I laugh more now than I did when I was
Yeah.
younger, because there's just something just so stupid about it. But I think it's because even comedians now, they can do really silly things, like Bradley Walsh can be silly, Stephen Mulhern can be silly, but just sometimes stupid comedy is what I find
Yes. Yeah.
funny.
He died on stage.
But then
didn't
Duncan can do some stupid comedy, and I think, what are you doing? Yes, Tommy Cooper did die on stage at a night. I watched it when
at
that
the
happened.
Palladium.
Yeah, it was so sad.
he? Yeah. People thought it was part of the act.
Yeah, which it was very sad, and they almost just put the curtains around him and pulled him back, didn't they?
The shivers.
But that's another link there was the London Palladium.
Yes, Saturday nights.
Yeah, I
London
just
Palladium.
absolutely love it. That was on
Because
for a
that-
good couple of hours, I think.
I suppose
wasn't
it's
it?
very similar to the kind of variety shows that maybe Anton Deck and Michael McIntyre do now. That kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but weren't they well-known people in it though? They weren't. It's not like a competition, was
Oh
it?
no, I wasn't thinking of the competitions. I was thinking of the other things they host on Saturday nights now.
Oh right, yeah, because
Yeah.
you've got Saturday Night Takeaway and all that sort of thing. Yeah, because they sometimes did like include the audience, didn't they, or something? Or they do.
Yes.
Didn't in the early days? Didn't they do something your money? Was it? Didn't they include the one where you could pick a box? Was that part of the show? Was that another quiz show where they
Go,
could
open
choose?
the box.
That's it. Open the box or
open
take the
lid.
money.
Open the lid, take the money. Yes, I don't know what that
No,
was.
it's open the box. I think open
Yeah.
the lid is probably deal or no deal.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of. But yeah, so that was lovely because you never knew who was going to be on there. But
Yes,
the
yeah.
actual compares were always pretty funny.
Going back to Morecambe and Wise, which I did like, but my favourites were always the two Ronnies.
Oh yeah, okay,
More than
to
Morecambe
me.
and Wise.
Oh no, to me, on a par. I just loved them
Yeah.
both the same.
So I can
That
still
again is
watch,
silly sense of humour.
but I can still watch sketches now and laugh as if I've never seen them.
Yeah, well that's
Yeah.
how I am. As I say, with Morecambe Wise and
Yeah.
Tommy Cooper and them, they're just ridiculous, and
The
it's
only thing
always
about
one that's
Morecambe
sticking
and
in mind.
Wise was they lived together and they used to share a double bed, and no one
Oh,
ever.
what, in the show? You no one
no one
commented
ever
on
thought
that.
that was
No.
weird.
How funny. obviously it was part of the. Perhaps they did it to get reactions. I don't know. Yeah, they did live together and shared a bed. Yeah,
It was funny in that
was
way, wasn't it?
I think that was done as a, what would you call it, a tongue-in-cheek thing? I don't know.
It's interesting, isn't it? I don't remember anyone ever commenting on it though.
No, I don't.
I had the Brady Bunch.
Yes, so have I.
Have you got the Brady Bunch?
I don't know what it is on my list, but it's there.
It was, blended families.
Yeah.
The day before blended families.
There's a song to that one as well, and I can't
Yes, and
what it is.
it's going around my head, but I don't
I've
think
got the tune.
Reproduce. And half the family.
We can't remember the words.
But it was like one half of the family was on one half of the screen, wasn't it? And the other, because she had all the daughters and he had all the sons, didn't he?
How many did they have? About 10 between them or something?
I don't know. They had a housekeeper, which is very posh. I thought all Americans had housekeepers in the 60s.
Are you American? Do you have a housekeeper?
Or a blended family.
Yeah, we're all blended. I expect there's a lot more blended families now than there used to be.
Well, and it was always because of death of partners. It would never have been divorce.
Probably not. No.
No.
That's right. I've got Here's Lucy.
No, didn't watch that. That's very early telly, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lucille
Well,
Ball.
then I am very much older than you.
You are very much older than me. A whole generation of.
No, she was funny. Honestly, she was funny. And watching the recent film about Lucy.
Oh, right.
Brought a lot of that back. It was quite funny. Yeah.
No. I've got something very British.
Go on.
Please Sir.
Yes, I've got that. Yeah.
Which was set in a slightly rough 70s comprehensive school.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can't remember that actor's name now.
And I don't.
And he was married to, what's the name, from, yes, I think he
still
was.
is, I think. And they've been together forever. 1968, that started.
Wow.
John Alderton.
That's it, John Alderton, and his wife, wasn't she in...
John Alderton was, and is still, he's 83.
Wow.
Married to Pauline Collins.
Oh, that's yes. Yes.
And I think he's still alive. Oh, he looks nice with grey hair. He's 83, and they are still married.
Sorry, listeners, you can't see, but I went, oh, yes, he's very handsome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they got married in 1969.
Wow. How lovely they're still together. That's not very common, is it, in celebrity land?
No, but I used to love that. And that, it was about a slightly rough... He was teaching... I don't know what they would call 4D or something, which was all the thick
Yes, I bet some of the girls used to fall in love with him as well, because it's just what kids did. I mean, I used to love one of my PE teachers. No,
yeah,
you just
very
did,
much
didn't
that vibe.
Used to look up
to
him.
Yeah, really enjoyed that. What would they call it in America? Because a comprehensive school is a very British term, isn't it?
Is it just a high school?
Yeah, but it was the rough end of high schools, would it?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. How were your... Tell us about your education system.
How does your education...
State school, maybe? State school?
It could be state school, but I really don't know. I've got Dad's Army.
Got Dad's Army. Love Dad's Army.
And I find that funnier now than I did then. And I'll tell you why. Because I told you I was always such a sensitive kid. Wouldn't listen to the news or anything like that. But because it was about war, there's something in my head used to click. And I'd just think, how can we be laughing about war? Isn't that funny?
Well, it's
so
a
that's
British thing to do,
and that's
isn't
what I'm
it?
like. But now I look back at it, and because it's way past it and gone, even though there's still wars going on, I just find it absolutely hilarious now.
I think
Pike.
Don't tell him Pike.
Because Duncan's surname's Pike, because I always laugh at that.
He died a few weeks ago, and he was the last surviving.
Pike?
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
In Lavender, and he was the last surviving member of Dad's Army.
Oh.
And he was the young boy in it, wasn't he?
Yeah. What was it? Because he was there with his uncle. What's his uncle name?
His uncle. It was Captain Mannering.
That's it.
And his assistant. I can't remember his name in the thing. They ran the bank.
Yes.
They?
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, do people know what Dad's Army was? It was the Home Guard.
Yeah.
So it was normally whoever couldn't go to fight on the front line during the Second World War. So they were either excused professions.
Too old, a lot of them were.
A lot of them were very old.
They were very old in his
or
little
very
army.
young.
Yeah.
Yes, or pulling the wool over the eyes of the... There was the man who was a bit of a... was a spiv, as they
Oh
were
yes,
called.
he used to come in with his suit on, didn't he?
Yes.
He's one who you bought the stuff off the black market from.
Yes, it was doing a bit of this, bit of that. And
When he used to open the coat and they'd have a load of watches in it, or stockings. Yeah, it's one of those.
But he probably should have been in the army, but I think he was claiming flat feet and
he was
asthma or
skiving,
something.
dodging and diving, or whatever
Yes,
they call it. Yeah.
yes. So, yeah, I used to really enjoy that. And there was the Scottish guy as well. We're doomed!
Oh yeah, we're doomed all the time.
But
Yeah.
it was, I mean, they were very important during the Second World War, because it's easy to look back now because we know the Brits won, but at the time, the Germans could have invaded at any time, and all we had for protection was all these old boys, because everybody else had been sent off to fight. So
I always remember Captain Mannering had, had certain conversations that come up and he'd go, because you couldn't talk about it, a bit like, don't talk about the war, even though they were in it,
really loved that. And a more modern version, of course, was LOLO.
Yes,
which is funny now, having living in France.
Well, it was funny at the time,
Which is about the French resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the way they used to speak. I mean, I'd like to know that went to America, I must admit, because I think they would find that quite funny.
And I also think there's a lot of us in France who speak like the policeman.
Yes.
Good morning.
Yeah. Bit of franglais, or they're just totally getting it wrong.
But it was the idea that everybody spoke English, but once you spoke in a different accent, people did, because there was the woman who used to say, listen very carefully, I should say this only once. And she'd do it in a French accent to the French people. And then she'd turn to the British airmen and go, come on, chaps. And of course the French people wouldn't understand her then.
No.
Because she was using an English accent.
Yeah.
It was just so clever.
It was clever. That whole thing was just really funny. And poor old, what's his name, the one that was the one on the bar? I can't remember his name, but he ran the bar, didn't he?
Rene was his
That's
character.
it, Rene. Rene, and he was having a bit of an affair with one of the waitresses.
Again, they all found him completely
found him just
desirable.
Really,
another little ugly
probably
man.
more that he's the owner of a bar, maybe. Thought he'd got a bit of status.
It's so
probably
funny.
that. Yeah.
So funny.
Talking, it must be a similar era to start the Hillbillies.
Oh my God, the Beverly Hillbillies. Yes.
They loved the song of that one as well, and Grandma, and they just...
Well, I don't think I watched that a lot, but I used to do the wave, because she used to do wave at the end.
Yeah.
And then she used to hold her hand up, because she was getting tired, and wave some more. And that's the only bit I remember.
No,
Didn't they win the lottery or some equivalent? Oil. They found oil on their
I
land.
thought they'd won the money, but yeah, they...
Yes.
And because again, there's always similar characters in these things, isn't there? You got the granddad, and you got the good-looking one with the quiff, and that he just loved all the girls, and it was really really funny. Did love that.
Oh, you've got Top of the Pops. I've got Top of the Pops.
Yeah.
Totally
different subject. Top of the Pops. Again, I don't know if they've had a similar thing anywhere else, or whether it was sent there, but I think it's really sad that it stopped, really, because it used to be basically they would have people on from the top 10, wasn't it, or 5 maybe, and some new ones.
Music we're talking.
We're talking about music. Sorry, I do you not know what I'm talking about? It's Top of the Pops
music,
was the music charts.
And of course, in those days, that was all there was.
Yeah.
So,
well, you had that, and you had the radio one, didn't you?
Yes, which I think was the same chart because they were both BBC.
I think that's what happened, wasn't it? I think you used to get the chart on a Sunday, I think it was. I remember sitting there, was it a Thursday? No, Top of the Pops was Thursday. Sunday was top of the top chart music, can't speak. And that's when we used to record them or take them and all this sort of thing. And then you'd get to the top 5 and try and guess who was going to be at the top and get excited if it was your band or whatever. And then I think from that, then the Thursday chart worked from that, because obviously that's where the numbers were.
But that's the only time you would ever see your pop stars.
Yeah.
On television.
Yeah, there's only very rarely they might have an interview somewhere, but was it not? Yeah.
But I mean, nothing like MTV or any of those kind of channels.
No, that's
music
right.
channels.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. So you did really look forward to it, didn't you? That's the thing.
And pre-video, which we were 60. The bands were in the studio playing, weren't they?
Well, in the early days, it was always they were live on stage, and sometimes you catch that they might be miming. which was a bit off-putting. But then as that progressed, more and more of them mimed, because they had the technology to do that.
That's right.
And then they would gradually go into videos.
Yeah.
And that's when it was really, wow, you know, especially like I think Michael Jackson was one of the ones, the first good video, wasn't it? What was that for?
For Thriller.
Thriller. You know, that's...
see, I always think of Bohemian Rhapsody as
oh, really?
the first one, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know why, do you think of that because that's your memory or because you know that? Because I thought I knew Michael Jackson's being the first.
Michael,
and I don't know
Thriller
why.
was the first feature length, I think.
Oh, possibly.
It was like a little mini film, wasn't it?
Yes. I remember that because I remember we put that on for the first time at home, and my I remember, I don't know, it's my sister and my brother. One of them hid behind the sofa because it scared them. That Thriller video.
Yes, and it was directed by...
I say that can't have been my sister or that because it would have been around my children's age.
No, mid-80s?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it must have been my kids, but I think it might have been Alan. Might even have been scared by it.
What was the first music video? All right, it says Bohemian Rhapsody is sometimes incorrectly stated as the first music video. And the Beatles did it as well.
What, a music video? Oh,
I suppose things like Help, there was a thing, wasn't there? Bohemian Rhapsody was 1975. 1975! That's 50 years next year.
that's the year before I met my ex. I've got here, some suggest that the first music video was created in 1894. What? Thriller sounds good.
Thriller it was. Thriller was premiered, is what I was trying to say, on MTV
Right.
in December 1983.
Oh.
So that's 40 years old.
Because Wikipedia say list of first music videos aired on MTV. Then it says number one video killed the radio star, the Bugles, and you'd better run. So
Yeah.
I just don't know why we believe Google half the time.
Anyway.
But yes, so top of the pops
Yes.
was loved it, and especially
I always wanted to be in the audience at Top of the Pops.
I can remember I had a friend who was in the audience once, but it's funny when you watch those where they sort of dance and they sort of shuffle from side to side in the audience. But I loved it. If one of your favourites came on there, you just like be crying to the TV or something stupid.
Amazing, isn't it?
No, I remember Donny coming on singing Puppy Love, and everybody was ah, and I was watching the telly.
Yeah, I think we were about 11 or 12 then. I definitely had that on cassette. Puppy Love.
I might have done. Because I don't know what happened to all my cassettes actually.
We haven't done a music one yet, have we?
I don't think so. Well, no, we've done our pop stars and stuff, yeah. So I don't think I've got anything else around music.
No,
other
me
than
neither.
that. I've got another favourite that I can remember my mum loved. I'm not sure about my dad, but Des O'Connor show.
Yes.
So he was always very sweet, and he was a giggler. He
did used to giggle.
It's a bit like Bradley Walsh. He giggles,
Yeah.
and then you're infected, aren't you? Because you can't help but laugh. But he would fall off the sofa laughing because he was such a giggler.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good one. It's just another chat show.
Yes, yes.
And people used to dread going on there or go on there just to wind him up.
See, I liked Michael Parkinson. He was the first, really, wasn't he?
Yeah, Michael Parkinson was good.
He had some fantastic acts on there.
I've just, so many, what they'd say was famous interviews he did, didn't he? And just one of the ones was the footballer, wasn't it? Who was his friend, George Best.
He was drunk. Yeah.
He was drunk, and
Muhammad Ali.
who's the other actor that used to be drunk? Oliver.
Yes.
I've forgotten his name as well. Not Oliver Twist, was it? No. What's his name? Anyway.
Put drunk Oliver into your phone.
It does come up straight away.
Yeah.
Because he's just known for it.
But I can remember being introduced. Oh, Billy Connolly had his debut on.
That's right. He was on there as well.
Michael Parkinson.
Oliver Reed.
Oliver Reed.
It's the first one that comes up. How sad is that? That poor man. He's just known as a drunk actor. He died in 1999 in Malta.
Well, lucky him.
Yeah.
Think of worse places to die.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've got a couple of quizzes.
Oh. Yes, see, this is where my love of quizzes comes from as well, from way back.
Well, yeah, Golden Shot
Oh, yes.
with Bob Monkhouse.
And you used to sit there just all like tense, didn't you, waiting for the bolt to line up. Bernie the Bolt.
Bernie the Bolt.
What was it called? It's not a bow and arrow. It's
A bolt shooter, isn't it? Whatever one of those is called. What's a bolt shooter called? Told you we can sing lyrics from programmes 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was Bob Monkhouse was the host.
Yes.
What did they have to do? Did they have to answer questions and then get a go at hitting the apple with the bolt, wasn't it?
I can't...
It wasn't just hitting the
Oh,
apple.
there were 3 other presenters in that show, apparently. It was presented by Jackie Ray, I don't know who that is, Norman Vaughan, vaguely, and Charlie Williams. Oh, Charlie Williams, I remember that. Do you remember the comedian Charlie Williams?
Yes, I do remember him. I don't remember anybody after Bob Monkhouse.
That was 73 to 74. Norman Vaughan was 72 to 73. Bob Monkhouse done 67 to 72, and then 74 to 75.
I brought him back.
Yeah,
Obviously the others didn't
must
do
have done
well.
another, and that's first aired in 1967. But I can't find out what is it called. It's even in the Olympics, isn't it? That sort of weapon.
Is it?
Crossbow.
Well done.
Right, so the man used to set up a crossbow on a like a tripod, didn't they?
Yes.
And then they had a man who was actually operating it, and then the contestant was blindfolded.
Was he?
Yeah, and he had to say up, up, down, down.
Oh right,
And
lift a
it-
bit,
I don't-
right a bit.
I don't know who gave him the instructions of where it was though, unless it was just luck. But he used to have the instructions where this man operating the crossbow had to be, and then if they actually hit the target, they obviously won the big prize.
Well,
So yeah, that was a very tense show. I used to love it.
yes.
And because then in connection with that show, you've got what's his name that used to be on the dancing thing?
Bruce Forsyth.
Bruce Forsyth shows all of his
Well,
card shows.
I've just written down Generation Game.
Yeah, oh, love it, yeah. That
was
one of those
a
the
great
funniest was
show.
the bit at the end, wasn't it, with the
Cuddly Toy. People still say that, don't
Yeah.
they?
what's it called? Conveyor
belt.
Conveyor belt, yeah. And they used to have the contestants sat there, didn't they? The conveyor belt went in front
With all the prizes.
with all the prizes, and at the end they had to say what prizes they'd remembered. And because there was always a cuddly toy.
And a canteen of cutlery.
Oh, a canteen of cutlery. So whatever they remembered they could get, and that was the last thing, wasn't it?
Yes.
But they used to do other things, didn't they?
Well, they used to do tasks because it was like father, son, auntie, nephew.
Yeah.
That's why it was called the Generation Game.
Yeah.
And they used to put on plays, didn't they, where they had to learn a script.
Oh,
and
yes.
they'd pick up a hat and the lines would be in the inside of the
hat.
hat.
I'd forgotten that, yeah.
But they used to make things as well, like ice a cake and things.
Yeah.
And they were
Well,
always
you'd have an
disasters with
expert
that.
come on, didn't
Yes,
you? They
show you.
demonstrate what they had to do, and then they both had to do it, and then obviously got points on how good they were.
Yes.
No,
Oh,
very,
dear.
very, because Bruce Forsyth made it funny anyway.
Yes.
So that was another good one.
And the other one I had was Sale of the Century.
Yeah. Oh, that's not that long been gone, is it? I think they was.
Well,
doing it quite-
I remember just the Michael Parkinson version. And he only died quite recently, in his 90s.
I don't remember him being on that. I thought that was another Bob
What did I
Monkhouse
say?
thing. Michael Parkinson.
I didn't mean Michael Parkinson.
Bob Monkhouse?
No.
No? Who did you mean?
Hang on.
Do you know, I know I loved it, but I can't remember what the format was. Another one was that's out recently is the one, the Price one, wasn't it? Price is Right.
Yeah.
Now, I do know that's an American one as well, so whether it's anywhere
Okay,
else.
Sale of the Century. 3 contestants compete in a rapid-fire question and answer game with players offered a chance to spend their accumulated bankroll to buy instant bargains of merchandise.
Right.
So that was,
Yeah, I don't
capitalism
remember
at its
that.
best. Yeah.
So I know I liked it, but I don't remember that format at all. And another one was the cards, play your cards right, was another good one.
But it's funny how that's remained in British folklore. The conveyor belt in Generation Game.
Right.
In the if you ask a British person to list things,
Oh yeah, and then they'll throw it. Yeah.
they will always say cuddly toy.
Yeah. And of course the cuddly
and
toy.
people won't know why, will they?
No.
It's a very British thing.
Yeah.
Weird.
No, it's funny how things like that stick.
Mm.
I think that's because Bruce Forsyth used to make the audience laugh about it. Of course, the cuddly toy, you know. I wanted to touch on some of the cop ones that we used to watch.
Oh, yes.
I've got. Do you remember Dixon and Doc Green? Now that goes back before the 60s, I think.
It does. I remember watching a clip of it, but I'm not sure I ever watched it. I think it's just a famous clip of him standing underneath the lamp.
Yeah.
And you say,
Evening all.
Hello.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I ever watched the programme.
I think I probably only saw bits of it
Yeah.
because it was so early.
I've got Z Cars.
God. Now that I
Can
don't.
you sing Z Cars?
No, I don't.
Do, 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 do,
Yes.
do, do,
Do,
do, do, do, do, do, do, do.
Yeah, yeah. I remember the song, but don't remember much about the actual show.
Very straightforward in a police station, so it was whoever was in that police station. A bit like, what was it, Juliet Bravo?
Oh, it was just based in the station.
Yes, it was based in the station, like Juliet Bravo was later.
Yeah. Juliet Bravo.
Bravo! I don't know why that came out.
Yeah,
like.
Dixon and Doc Green was just another feel-good, really old-time. And what was the most crime someone would do? Steal a bottle of milk or something.
Yes,
You know, that sort of era.
But then that era of innocence wasn't real, was it? We all like to think.
Maybe they were just trying to make people feel better
Yes,
and not
exactly.
think about crime. I don't know.
It wasn't real,
That
was
must
it?
have been-
I mean, that was the time of the Moors murderers, let's be honest,
Yeah.
and Jimmy Savile and people like that.
Yeah.
We were fooling
Yeah.
ourselves to think they were innocent times.
Well, I was talking
Sorry
about
to
that.
bring the mood down.
Here's another one. Bob Moncus, I didn't really like him that much as a kid, but appreciated his humour and everything as I got older. And he was very quick.
A lot
Very
of them,
quick-humoured.
lot of those presenters for that time were song and dance men, weren't they? They
Yeah.
started on,
Yeah.
I mean, Bruce Forsyth was another one. You know,
Yeah.
They started singing and dancing and doing vaudeville type performances, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then ended up on telly. So.
And obviously Lionel Blair and Danny LaRue, he drag artist, but he was always around a lot, wasn't he? And what's his name? Have a gay day. Larry Grayson. Yeah, he's another one that was. He's loads of catchphrases that stuck with him.
Yes.
Yeah. So talking about cop things, I don't know. I mean, the Sweeney was another one.
Yes.
I like watching that.
That was a bit naughty, wasn't it?
It was a bit more naughty and a bit more
Grown up.
Like, what's his name? He's partner. Used to do a few crooked things. Oh no, I might be mixing him up with
Minder.
Minder. Yeah, because that's when he was definitely
Same
crooked
actor,
then,
isn't
wasn't
it? Same actor.
Yeah, Minder was
Yeah.
good as well.
Talking of which, I remember watching this is just talk about innocence. I remember watching an episode of The Sweeney, and there were this couple, and they were having a snog, and
In a car.
no, in
Oh,
a room or bedroom or
Oh
something.
right.
And she said, "Oh, you know, not tonight. We're getting married in the morning, you know, something." And he went,
Yeah.
"Well, it's no different from any other night."
Yeah.
And I went, I was so shocked. They were talking about sex before marriage.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God! I don't know why that sticks in my mind, but that was so controversial in my house.
I'm trying to think other ones that they the Sweeney I've got on here was, and obviously we said Minder. I didn't remember that one. And other ones that we used to like were things like they were sort of spies and all that. And I've got down. I don't know if it comes under it or not, but The Prisoner.
Right,
I
I don't think I ever watched The Prisoner.
I avoided watching it because it used to scare the out of me. And the big white balloon that used to bounce around this spooky, weird town
Yes.
used to frighten the
I
life
don't
out
think
of
I
me.
understood what was
So
going on.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
how old I was, but it did scare me. But people loved it, absolutely loved it. It was a bit of a cult show, wasn't it?
We touched on The Man from U.N.C.L.E. earlier, didn't we?
Yeah.
Now that was another one like Mission Impossible. I can't speak today.
Mission Impossible.
I seem
yeah.
to be wearing someone else's teeth.
Tell you
But I
what,
remember having a badge. It must have been a little symbol, a Man from U.N.C.L.E. badge.
probably got it free with the cornflakes or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, well, I've got, so The Prisoner, as I say, was scary, and that was seemed to be around for ages. I don't know if it was. Then I've got The Persuaders.
Oh.
The Persuaders.
Now, there was a girl called Sharon in that.
Oh, was there?
I think that was The Persuader. Sharon McCready.
That name rings a bell, yeah.
And I was so impressed. Suddenly I felt cool.
Because her name was Sharon.
Because it wasn't a cool name. Never had been. I'm sure that's where she was in The Persuaders. Because what's the other more famous one with the man with the bowler hat? The Avengers.
Oh, Avengers, yeah. They're very similar, if I remember right, weren't they?
Oh, that's not Sharon McCready either. Hang on, it's not The Persuaders. I might just have to put Sharon McCready in. So why do I remember her name after all those years? Oh, that was The Champions.
Oh, yeah, I didn't really take a lot of notice of that, I must admit.
Yes. So that was another one very similar to The Persuaders, but it was kind of British spy thing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got The Prisoner, The Persuaders, what was another one? Obviously The Avengers you touched on. That's another one that's, I think there's been films about that as well, isn't there?
Well, The Avengers was where I first saw Joanna Lumley.
Oh, yes.
As Purdy.
Mm.
And I had my hair cut like Purdy.
Oh, did
which
you?
was this kind of under
Well, it
bob
was
thing,
very
wasn't
short
it?
bob, yeah.
Yeah, I had my hair done
Did
like
you?
Purdy from The Avengers.
It was a bit of a thing at some
Yes.
point, wasn't it? Everybody wanted the Purdy cut.
Yes. I think I
Yeah.
was only about 12 or 13.
Yeah.
I had short hair.
But
from
she
there
was so, not thin, but she was very, yeah, she was fit.
Well, she was a model, wasn't
Yeah,
she, before
exactly.
she was an actor? So
Yeah. She was very
yeah.
fit and used to do silly acrobatics
She
to beat
did.
men and kick them and do a lot of
Yeah.
kickbox type
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Bless
so
her.
she could look after herself, put it that way.
Mm.
Did we touch on Randall and Hopkirk before?
No, because I've still got that on my list.
Yeah, I have, but I got a line for it for some reason.
Got carried away.
Yeah. So
I
Randall and
loved Randall
Hopkirk,
and
and is that
Hopkirk.
the one that was with the ghost?
Yes, they were
Yeah.
detectives. He got killed, Hopkirk. So then on the door it used to say Randall and Hopkirk
Deceased. That's right. Yeah.
Yes, but Hopkirk's wife was still alive, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And
But she
Randall
couldn't
had
see him, could
no,
she?
only Randall could. But Randall had a bit of a thing for his wife, I think.
Yeah. So he had to keep an eye on it, didn't he? He kept on saying, "Oi, oi, that's my wife."
Yes, yeah, but
he always wore a white suit, so you knew that.
you knew he was
So
a ghost.
everybody would know he was the ghost. Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked that.
We enjoyed it. It was
They
quite
did
funny.
a remake of that with Vic and Bob, Vic Reeves and
That rings a bell, but I
Yeah.
can't think. What was
And
it
it was
actually?
alright. Yeah,
a
yeah.
proper show.
yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, can't place it.
Yeah, but I
If
did
it was
like
put in
it.
front of me, I'd remember, but I can't think of
I
it at
really
the minute.
did like Randall and Hopkirk. It was one of my
Yeah,
favourites.
yeah, same here. Now, what about Doctor Who?
Yes, I can't say I was a huge fan. I remember
No.
watching it, but I don't. I mean, I know more about Doctor Who now because one of my children is a tiny bit obsessed.
Yeah,
But that's only since like David Tennant, Matt Smith era. But that early era, I don't think I was a regular watcher.
I do think they've improved as time's gone on because, well, you can imagine, can't you? Back then, the scenery was cardboard, and
Yes.
so they didn't have as good. They didn't have the computer to sort stuff out,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
costumes
that's-
weren't as good.
Yeah.
So corny was one
Corny,
way
yeah,
corny,
yeah.
I would say, but people loved it right from the start, and some people prefer the old ones because they do like some of the old corny stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
But my favourite was Matt Baker and David Tennant. I can't think of any others that I really liked. There was the Cockney type bloke, wasn't there, for a while? Tall bloke, can't remember his name. He was it for really short hair.
No.
I didn't mind him.
Our era was the endless scarf man.
Yeah, with the mop of hair again. Yeah, let me just see who we thought.
Pertwee, I think, was an early Doctor Who, and he was either Wurzel Gummidge or
This is all
Catweasel.
the act-
Yeah, see, the assistants were fairly minor in our day, weren't they?
That's it. List of actors who've played Doctor Who. Now we can see William Hartnell, do you remember him?
Yeah, he was the first one,
He's,
wasn't
yeah, I vaguely remember. Patrick Troughton,
he? No.
you'd know him if you'd seen him with glasses.
Yeah. That's John Pertwee's the one I just said.
Yeah, John Pertwee was one of the earliest I remember. Tom Baker,
He's the scarf.
remember him?
He's the scarf man.
That's right, but he had darker curly hair then, didn't he? Peter Davison, another one, wasn't so keen on him.
He was all right because I liked Peter Davison from other things.
Right, okay.
He was in.
Colin Baker, he was another one. He was, I thought, very similar to Peter Davison. Don't know what it was about him. Sylvester McCoy.
Or is he the scarf?
Oh, it got me thinking now.
Don't know.
Paul McGann.
Yeah, that was when they brought it back because there's a big gap.
He's not the one that's in Call the Midwife, is he?
There's lots of McGanns.
I think it is him, but...
It's-
Oh, is there other McGanns? Oh,
There are
maybe.
other
But if it does, he
McGanns.
looks very
There's
much like his brother.
3 or 4. Steve.
Here, the one I was trying to think of is Christopher Eccleston. He's the one I didn't mind his. Then you got David Tennant. Then you got Matt Smith. Peter Capaldi. I was all right with, but
I like him as an actor.
yeah, and I couldn't get on with Jodie Whittaker. I didn't really like her doing it. And now we're down to the Nkuti Gatwa,
He's
new
the
one.
new guy, isn't he?
I haven't seen them yet, so I can't comment on that. But yeah, so there's been 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 Doctor Who's.
There's 5 McGann brothers.
Oh right, okay. What's the other names? You got it on there?
So there's Mark, Joe, Paul, and Stephen. I think Stephen's in Called the Midwife. But there is a gap. Doctor Who finished and then started again. It's not one
Yeah, it is.
continuously.
I recognise him now, yeah. How much of a gap was there then?
Right, Doctor Who was cancelled in 1989 and then came back in 2005.
That's a long gap, isn't it? Didn't realise that.
Yeah, I think I'd need to check that out, to be honest. There was a big gap.
Right. Yeah, I didn't realise.
Mm.
But I must admit, in the early years of Doctor Who, I used to find it quite scary.
Yes. The Daleks were scary.
Yeah, and I just think as a child it's quite hard. But I think I've heard of quite a few people
You know
as
what you had
kids
to
used
do, though? All you had to do was walk upstairs.
Why?
Well, Daleks can't go upstairs.
Oh, see now I didn't know that. That's a good point. They couldn't, could they?
You could only glide.
No.
Didn't have feet.
Right. What about?
We haven't covered soaps.
I've got so many different ones here. I mean,
I don't know which
I've
ones
got,
you watched.
I've only put Coronation Street down because I know that what was way back. Was obviously soaps now, were they? But yeah, Coronation Street and
Crossroads.
that's it. You're gonna just as that you said it. I thought,
See, I watched a bit of Coronation Street.
and I know Coronation Street is another one that's gone
Oh, forever.
worldwide
Yeah.
and for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Early 50s, I think.
Yeah.
But certainly the era of kind of Ian Sharples.
Mm.
And
Ina Sharples, Hilda Ogden,
yeah, Stan Ogden.
Stan Ogden, yeah. Who was the old boy? What was his name? His mate, wasn't he? He used to sit in the bar with him. Anyway, yeah.
That's my era that
Yeah.
I remember. But we were big Crossroads fans.
Yeah.
Crossroads was set in near Birmingham.
Yeah, I think it is.
Motel, wasn't it? It was a motel. It wasn't a hotel.
Oh, Crossroads. Sorry, yes.
Crossroads was the Crossroads motel.
Such a shame. I don't know how long that actually went on for, but it was
Bing,
just
bing,
loved it.
Bing, 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 bing. Is that Crossroads?
Yeah. Now Crossroads ran. Wow. Original series. There was 4,510 episodes, but it was on every night. I think Monday to Friday, wasn't it? I think. And
What's the years?
it was revived apparently and had 320. So in total, 4,830 episodes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when did it run?
The also known as Crossroads Motel or Crossroads King's Oak.
Oh, King's Oak.
It was the adventures of a motel owner, son, daughter and her staff, and the drama was never far away from the ringing of the reception bell. Yeah.
It was sat around that reception. I could almost see the reception desk.
Yeah.
You never went
I
outside, did you?
No, you might occasionally go in the rooms, but yeah, you had Noel Gordon.
Noel Gordon.
She was Meg.
She was Meg Richardson.
Yeah. Jane Rossington was Jill Harvey. Roger Tongue Remember Roger, Sandy Richardson?
Sandy was her son. He was in a
son.
wheelchair.
Yep. Tony Adams, I don't know who he was, but it's on here.
Benny.
Susan Hanson as Diane Lawton.
Miss Diane.
Miss Diane.
Because Benny was like the village idiot, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Used
and
to wear a
remember
woolly hat.
Ronald Allen was David Hunter. I've got a feeling he got together with Diane.
Oh, that would have upset Benny, wouldn't it?
Sue
There was
Lloyd.
a chef.
I can't remember who Sue Lloyd
What
was.
was the chef's name?
Benny was Paul Henry.
Right,
Bless him.
yes.
Then you've got Marilyn. I remember her. Yeah, I remember her in it, and she was in Coronation Street as well.
Oh my God, yes, she was,
Yeah.
wasn't she? I was gonna write, who was the chef? Come on, who's the chef?
Oh, I remember her. Anne George, do you remember her?
Yes,
The
I
little old
remember
lady
her.
in it.
Yeah.
Val Pollard, do you remember her? I remember Mrs. Pollard used to come in. I remember talking to the son. Oh, Doris Luke, Kathy Staff. Remember
Kathy
her?
Staff.
Yeah.
Yes. Was she one of the cleaners?
I think so. Yeah, you remember her face?
Yes.
I remember her coming around it with her apron on. Then you had John, someone, it was Hugh Mortimer, I think. his
Hugh
name was.
Mortimer. Yes.
Yeah, I haven't found the chef yet. Sherry was in it. Kitty Jarvis, Carlos.
Carlos.
Yes, Carlos. What was he? Was he a caretaker or something?
No, he was the chef.
Oh yes, he was. yes, yes, Carlos Rafferty. Was it Rafferty? Carlos.
I think he was supposed to be
his name's-
Spanish.
his
or
name's
something.
disappeared.
Yeah, Carlos
Yeah,
was
so
the
it wouldn't
chef.
be Rafferty then, would it?
Unlikely. Yeah.
Yeah, there it goes. It ran from 1964 to 1988.
I did love Crossroads.
Oh God, I was gutted when it finished. Yeah, and obviously that you got Coronation Street, as we said.
they go
That's
much
still
later.
going, I think.
Yes, Corrie's still going.
I'm just finding odd ones now that were on the list we haven't touched. Going back to real young, Tales of the Riverbank.
I thought you were going to say Tales of the Unexpected.
No.
And I was going to go.
Yeah, well, that's another thing I used to find quite eerie.
Yes, they were
yeah.
always like mistress.
Yeah.
Mistress. No.
But Tales of the Riverbank.
That was very slow, wasn't it?
But it was
no,
real-
not in a bad way.
But it was
but
real life animals, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
That would, I don't know how they done it when I think about it now, but they used to just film these little hamsters and that moving around on the riverbank
yeah.
and give them voices.
It's
So
lovely.
cute.
Well, what was the other one where the animals had voices? Like from a zoo or something? And the man used to give them voices.
Oh, you're on about Animal Magic?
Animal Magic.
Yeah. God, it all keeps flooding back.
And it'd be
He
like,
was
oh,
good.
I'm George the Giraffe.
Yeah, they used to have them just in the whatever. He was in the zoo,
Yeah.
basically, and he'd just pretend he knew what they were saying, wouldn't he? And
Yes,
he'd
that
give them
was
voices.
brilliant.
That was really funny.
Yeah.
Animal Magic. Yeah. So then I've got flipping onto another one, Monty Python.
Again, didn't discover Monty Python until I was much older.
Well, I'm thinking about it
think
now.
that
I
was
don't
Mac,
think
actually.
I did. Yeah,
My ex-husband introduced me to Monty Python, I think.
I can't remember how I come about knowing about that because it's not the sort of thing my dad was really into either.
No.
Now, do you remember The Worker?
The Worker.
I didn't until I saw the thumbnail with the old. I'll have to look at it now. I thought I had it in my head, but it's gone already. Short term again. So I had it on my screen and took
I
it
did
away.
think of one when you said that, which was the rag trade.
Oh yeah, that came up as well. Yeah, we didn't watch that. Charlie Drake.
No,
Don't you remember? Oh, he was a silly little man.
I do not remember that.
I can't remember if
I
I
know
liked him
Charlie
or not.
Drake.
But I do remember laughing at him.
Yeah, I know Charlie
Yeah.
Drake. I don't remember the Worker though.
But he used to just walk around with his underwear on. He was just a silly. He was like a better version of Benny Hill in a way.
Yeah.
A nice. He was just a cute, silly little man with curly hair.
I've got Porridge,
Yes.
which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, with that's with what's his name? Wasn't it? Ronnie Barker. Yeah, that was always really
I can't
funny.
remember the name of the guy, Rich Beckinsale.
That's it.
'Cause he died quite young, didn't he?
He did, didn't he?
Yeah.
And his sister's an actress, isn't
No,
she?
his daughter.
Oh, I see. I knew
Yes,
there was a
his
relative.
daughter's
Yeah.
well-known actress.
Yeah.
And his wife was she worked in production or something. Still does, I think. Anyway, yeah. So loved Porridge.
Yeah. No, sense of humour. Again, it was
yes.
written by the Barker, and that wasn't it?
Yeah,
That's why.
so it's very much in his vein. And David Jason was in it early on, sort of before Only Fools and Horses.
I think he was, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't he one of his prison mates at one point? Yeah.
was,
in
yeah.
the cellmate. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, I've got.
I did like porridge.
Tell you, I've got 2 left on my list that we haven't touched on. One was Columbo.
Yes.
Loved Columbo.
I liked Columbo.
And funny enough, there's a series that's out now called Poker Face,
Right.
which is it's the long red-haired girl that was in Orange is the New Black, which you haven't seen, have you?
haven't.
But she's playing it, and I swear she is copying his character.
Columbo-esque character.
She's done to me and Duncan straight away. We kept saying that is so Columbo, just the way she does it.
He had a dirty raincoat, didn't he? And everyone thought he was a bumbling fool.
Yeah.
But he wasn't. He took everything in.
Well, that's
Always
exactly what
solved
she's
it.
like, and she keeps a poker face. That's why she gets employed, because they think she can get the information out of people because she can keep a straight face.
Right.
So yeah,
Interesting,
but
isn't it?
it's quite good.
So the only other one I've got is the Waltons.
Oh, of course. Why did I not remember the Waltons?
It's when you said
Little House on the Prairie, but
I thought of the
we didn't really
Waltons.
touch on Little House on the Prairie. It was just
No.
mentioned. The Waltons is just. I must have watched them all. Sure, I did.
And again, that's one of those phrases. Good night, John Boy. Whenever you're sharing
Yeah.
a room with someone, we did it on holiday in Italy.
I was just going to say, when we was on holiday in Italy, that was in the last hotel, wasn't it? It said, night, John Boy. Yeah.
Because
It just sticks, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just, again, just a lovely... Yeah, they used to touch on some sensitive subjects, but it was just a lovely, good
It was
film.
genteel, wasn't
Yeah.
it? You know,
And while
just
you're talking about that, it's just reminding me of Happy Days. I mean, that was another one that was funny.
Yes. Happy Days. Ron Howard,
Yeah,
who went on to
he's doing directing, isn't he, now?
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, he's directed so many
Yeah.
popular films.
This you might not even remember. Do you remember Oh Brother? It was all about monks.
Monks?
Yeah, in
Funny monks?
in a convent.
Or they shouldn't be in the convent, Chan.
You know what I mean?
That's why they keep the nuns.
Monastery. Yeah.
Would have been funny if all the monks were in a
I'm
convent.
trying to remember the name of
I
the.
didn't watch that.
Oh Brother. Let me just finish off on this one.
Now you're saying that, I can think of the actor that was in it.
Yeah, that's just why I'm trying to find the name, because
Oh God, he still does panel shows and things now.
Oh, he's still around, is he?
I'm sure I'm thinking of the right guy. I
Was it
might not be.
1970s, I think, was it? That's it.
Derek
Nimmo.
It wasn't who I was thinking of just now, but his
Yeah,
name
so-
just popped into my head. I think I have seen it maybe once or twice, but it wasn't a staple.
There was only, according to this, there was only 3 main actors in it. And there was only 3 series, but they were funny.
Talking of not many episodes, 40 Towers, of course.
Yeah.
Which again is very popular in America, isn't it?
It does seem to be, yeah, I've heard that they like
There only
it.
ever 12 episodes made,
Oh no, that's bizarre, because it felt like it was on for years.
and I can probably name them all if I thought about it.
They probably, maybe they only had, I don't know, maybe they only put 4 out at a time or something, I don't know.
I don't think series were long. So you
No.
probably have a series of 6 episodes and then it will disappear off.
But you say they only did 12
Only
altogether.
made 12 episodes. Two
Well, I
series.
never.
Bizarre, isn't it?
But yeah, that's another, because it was obviously,
John Cleese.
yeah,
Yeah.
from Monty Python, he did do some funny. Talking about that, it's just nothing to do with this, but Duncan was stepping out some measurements on one of Billy's videos, and one of the viewers said it reminded me of John Cleese.
Ministry of
Yeah.
Funny Walks.
I
That's
thought
Monty Python.
One of them said, I thought Duncan was doing a silly walk then.
Yes, go back to Monty Python.
So I think we've covered a fair few hundred programmes there. So and some of them we didn't remember until we started on it, which is what we expected. But
And you must tell us your favourite programmes.
yeah, you've
And
got to
how
know.
many? I'm really interested because that was a lot of that was very British.
Yeah.
People
I'm
outside the
hoping that some
UK.
of you are going to write down the titles and see, and then just see if you do remember them, or write down the ones you do remember, because we don't know all that goes abroad, do we?
No.
And I
no.
mean, I would imagine in some countries, some of our ones from back then are probably still being shown now in
Yes.
other countries. 'Cause
Yes,
they're none the
yeah.
wiser, are they? They probably think that's how we are now. But yeah, it's
There's some interesting ones there.
yeah, it's just nice.
Not
we,
all
we
have
go,
shown
we
the
go,
test of time.
No, they're not very PC back then, but it's just it's just nice to have your memory jogged sometimes.
Yes,
and go down
yes.
memory lane, isn't it?
And apologies for the singing.
Well,
We enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah, I suppose we better apologise, really. Anyway, I'll see you in the next podcast. Bye.